Hey, I'm Lee, and I only have 5 things for you. Hey guys, welcome back to 5 Things with Lee. Our focus we're having this week is numbers that count in youth ministry. We're continuing our series. First number we're going to talk about today is 40. 40 is usually the numbers that we have, the hours we have of influence in a youth throughout an entire year, outside of mission trips and camps and other travel. It needs to be something that stays in the front of our mind because that's the influence we have of cult and taught ministry on campus. The time we have actually actively leaning into them and teaching them with ourselves and volunteers, but also the cult part of ministry so they see our influence in our lives and just being with them and hanging out and having fun. The other number I want to get into actually is my favorite number, 5. 5 is so important to youth ministry because studies have shown throughout the years of saying it takes 5 active adults outside of parents to lead into a child to help them successfully navigate adolescence. And I prefer, those kids can find those people somewhere else, but imagine if they come from the church, any part of an intergenerational ministry that are influencing this child on a daily basis, growing them in their faith. The other 5 that's important is as you're doing your paperwork and as you're filling out, well, how many volunteers do I need for my ministry? Have at least 1 adult per every 5 youth. It's just a good rule of thumb to go by. I'm gonna combine 2 numbers for you right now, a 12 and a 3. Now this works sometimes for larger groups, but you can apply it down for your group also. 12 by 3 is a great principle I learned from Rob Phillips, who used to be the youth worker at White Plains United Methodist Church. When a volunteer walks into a room of youth, they can usually have relational leverage with about 12 kids that are there to say, hey, what's going on? It's really good to see you. And that's a good thing to check out. Also, 3 is an important also. That's the youth you can really get in depth and have a conversation with. What you have to do is by taking attendance regularly and checking, cross-reference with your volunteers to see who are the 12 that people are connecting with and who are the 3 that people are connecting with. And then compare that to the attendance that you're there. Because odds are there might be some kids that nobody's connecting with. So we really need to bring those up front to know who's getting a lot of attention and who's not getting much attention, and how can we leverage that the best way possible. Other important number I want to talk to, just to finish up our talk today, is the number 2. 2 is huge for me in that 2 is the average number of times somebody needs to miss before you send them a card. Now, I'm all for texting and I'm all for technology. However, when students today, or even children's ministry today, they get a card in the mail from you, that is an amazing thing to say, we missed you and we really look forward to seeing you again, from their teacher, their small group leader, lead pastor, or maybe even from you. Also, another teaching aspect to play into is this. There are 2 points you always need to teach to, whether in big group on youth ministry, on Sunday night or Wednesday night or whenever you have it, or some other aspect of Sunday school. This is it. Always answer 2 questions. Number 1, did you have fun? And what did you learn? Because when the child gets in the car, and speaking as a youth parent, I ask those questions and parents ask those questions. So if you have prepared your youth with those questions to be answered, they're going to have an awesome conversation on the way home. If you haven't compared that, it's going to turn into grunt fest and maybe be some tension there. So prepare as you teach to answer those 2 questions. Have a great week.